The government is seeking to amend the Pantawid Pamilyang Pilipino program, or 4Ps, as the country continues its fight against poverty to ensure that support reaches those who need it for as long as necessary. One major proposal is to extend the stay of beneficiaries beyond the current 7-year limit. To walk us through these proposed reforms, we now hear from Department of Social Welfare and Development Assistant Secretary Irene Dumlao. Good evening, Asec. This is Sharms Espina for PTV News Tonight.
Hi, Sharms. Good evening.
Good evening, Asec. First of all, let's get right down to it. What specific amendments to the 4-piece laws are being proposed? And we'd like to know, how would these impact the current beneficiaries set to exit in 2026?
Well, Sharms, the proposed amendment to Republic Act 11310, the 4-piece Act, actually seek to amend or modify the 7-year limit on the program participation of our beneficiaries. Under the current law, families are automatically exit from the program after 7 years, regardless of their actual socioeconomic condition. So the amendment aims to introduce a more flexible, needs-based approach, allowing, of course, our qualified beneficiaries to stay beyond 7 years only if they have not yet met the program self-sufficiency indicators. Of course, this change will significantly impact the more than 1.3 million households that are set to exit in 2026, ensuring, of course, that those who still face vulnerabilities or economic instabilities are not prematurely removed from the program. Of course, this is particularly crucial for families or households who experience interruptions in their progress due to unforeseen events like the COVID-19 pandemic, the various economic shocks, and of course, various disasters that exacerbate their living conditions.
Asec, so this sounds really great. You mentioned that it is more flexible and it does take into consideration what their current state is. But how would the DSWD ensure that extending that stay for beneficiaries won't lead to overdependence?
Well, Sharms, of course, the Department of Social Welfare and Development, under the leadership of Secretary Rex Gatchalian, recognizes the need to balance social protection with, of course, empowerment and accountability. And we make sure that our beneficiaries do not depend on the program. Instead, we make sure that we strengthen various strategies. One, of course, is the enhanced case management, wherein beneficiaries will undergo assessment using the social welfare and development indicators to measure the social adequacy and economic sufficiency of our program beneficiaries, and of course, to monitor their progress and their readiness for graduation or exit from the program. The DSWD 4-piece NPMO also conducts regular monitoring of the school participation or school attendance of children beneficiaries, their health checkups, and attendance to family development sessions, which are conditions to the program. So in our family development sessions, we share to our program beneficiaries modules on financial literacy, responsible parenting, livelihood, and values formation. So in this manner, we are able to empower our beneficiaries. And in addition to that, of course, there are convergence of various programs wherein we also provide livelihood and employment opportunities to our program beneficiaries that will, of course, support their eventual exit from the program and transition to self-reliance. There are also other measures that are being done to make sure that they do not depend solely on the program, wherein we capacitate them. We partner with other government agencies so that we could build on their current skills and help them to have their own source of income by strengthening the livelihood opportunities, livelihood and employment opportunities that are extended to them.
This sounds like it's also very comprehensive and multi-sectoral. But apart from that, does the department also measure in other ways the improvement in the well-being of the program beneficiaries as far as poverty alleviation is concerned?
Yes, Charms. As I mentioned earlier, our social workers administer yearly the social welfare and development indicators, so we are able to measure the social adequacy and economic sufficiency of our program beneficiaries. The SWD tool is the primary tool used to assess the family's level of well-being, based, of course, on multiple dimensions such as education, health, housing, even their income and employment. And we classify them into survival, subsistence, or self-sufficient. That way, we are able to monitor if they're making progress or the program is significantly helping our program beneficiaries move out from poverty.
Asec, at the moment, how many beneficiaries or the percentage of the DSWD would there be?
Well, the annual target of the 4Ps NPMO is at 4.4 million beneficiaries. We are serving or monitoring around 4 million household beneficiaries at present, and we are seeing around 1.3 million beneficiaries that may exit from the program by 2026 because they've already reached the 7-year term.
I think what I'd also like to emphasize to our viewers today is that the Department of Social Welfare and Development is not simply for indigents, but also those in crisis situations. Can you tell us more about that?
Yes, one of the programs of the department is the assistance to individuals in crisis situation, wherein we provide various assistance to families and individuals who are experiencing adverse shocks or crisis, to help them recover from this or alleviate them from their current condition. So we provide medical assistance. We also provide burial assistance. There's also psychosocial services. There are also referral services that are being done. We also do psychosocial interventions. These are all part of the assistance to individuals in crisis situation. Again, we provide these interventions to individuals or families in crisis to help them recover from the adverse shocks that they are experiencing.
Thank you so much for your insight, Assistant Secretary Irene Dumlao from the DSWD. Have a good evening.